Hi, this is Tim Sanders, founder of the Omnia Radiation Balancer, and I'm honoured to have been a guest on the Journey to Truth show. Now, with phone radiation, most people think that because they can't feel anything, nothing is happening. But the reality is that this radiation is causing a lot of stress and damage in your body, and your brain doesn't register that it's happening. The likelihood is that you'll only find out about it when this continuous stress shows up in the body as disease. And this is backed up by well over 10,000 peer-reviewed studies showing that EMF causes serious diseases when they tested it on rats. The Omnia Radiation Balancer removes this stress. It's proven to balance the blood, it brings perfect crystalline structure to water, and our kinesiology muscle tests show that the body goes super strong when you stuck it on your phone. And it works with 5G. You just order enough patches to cover every radiating device in your home, and you're done. It lasts forever. But to be clear, let's not get complacent. We must all stop 5G together. So big thanks and big love to Tyler and Aaron. Click on the link below and you can quickly and permanently bring balance back to your body. Thank you.
All right. Hey, you're listening to Journey to Truth podcast. Tonight we are joined by Livin and Alara from Pink Patriot Hour. They are both digital soldiers, as you would say, on Twitter, and they created Pink Patriot Hour to basically have a platform for females in the movement to come forward because there really wasn't a good place for it before. So they're creating a great place for a lot of digital soldiers to come together. And if you don't know what a digital soldier is, we will let these ladies explain it to you. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thank you. We're glad to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi, Tyler. Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi.
How's it going over there? You guys excited about the Flynn information? Flynn being exonerated and his case being dismissed?
Big news today. It's a Patriot party. You know it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No more gag order. Yeah.
Huge news today. I woke up to it and I was like, what? Wait a minute. Did I read it right? And it was on Fox. And I was like, oh my God, just jumping around. Awesome news for Flynn and his family.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
Yeah, I was telling. Go ahead.
Go ahead. And the mass exodus to Parler. Flynn made a tweet on Parler, and that was it.
Yeah,
That was it.
Awesome.
I just created my account to right before this on Parler, so I'm still learning it, but it seems to be exactly the same as Twitter.
I love how it's identical to Twitter.
I've been over there since it started, and it was interesting to get. The only reason I went over there is just to have a backup. I felt that at that point, a lot of people were saying that we were being so suppressed on Twitter that we needed to have somewhere to go. So I started an account over there, and I would drop all Payne's Angels videos over there and stuff like that, and check in and talk to a few of the other Patriots that had been, banned from Twitter, and got to meet a whole group of Patriots over there, which is really awesome. Once you get to learn it, it's pretty easy to work your way through it and find everybody.
Yeah, it seemed that way. So you guys, I was talking to Aaron about the Flynn, like, okay, so now he has no more gag order. That would mean that he would have to have some type of extreme, crazy, high-level security around him if he is going to start talking, and we are going to start seeing disclosures of whatever it might be in the next coming months, and just releasing stuff that has been suppressed for a while. So what do you guys think about that? Time's up.
I was waiting for Laura. Looked like she was going to say something. Oh, I think it's amazing. I think that he, I think once it kind of settles down and, he gets he's got the final word, but I think once, there was something else I just heard before, we came on. I think that once it all settles down and he gets everything straight with his lawyers and, probably a lot of security around him, I think that we'll start hearing a lot from him, and probably not all at once, slowly, being disclosed, because I'm sure that, you know, he still has a lot of eyes on him. And so it's going to be interesting to find out what comes from all this in the next few months going forward. But boy, what a win for us patriots.
Yeah, and that's what I said about having some type of security around him. I mean, he's got to be protected right now.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So
I can't wait to see what he has to say. That's what I'm excited for. You know, I mean, we're on there, part of the army every day, but we don't ever get to hear him speak because this gag order has been in place for so long, for all these years now. So this is going to be, you know, game changing. And then Q dropped today, and there were some really exciting drops today, actually. The one about, I'm trying to remember the exact wording, about that we've been chosen for this position or something to that effect. I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I was relying on you guys to come forward.
Take the oath and mission forward.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that was just amazing.
I think my favorite one was the People's General soon. Star Q. I think that was amazing.
Q drop 4509. You have been selected to help serve your country. Never retreat from the battlefield. Twitter, Facebook, use other platforms. It's a really long drop. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but like, right? That's just boom. And then we got, this has never been attempted. The use of general public to counter the narrative. So it's like literally, it's kind of cool because Q's kind of telling us like, you guys are literally enlisted, you know,
warriors, soldiers.
Yeah. And this battle,
we're soldiers, digital soldiers. So what I think he's telling us is just let's start hammering the deep state with the memes and getting our stuff out to suppress the propaganda from the deep state. And I think a lot that if we start doing that and we start moving our memes and start, every time Pelosi comes on and we counteract with something with Trump, we're moving that out of the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We become the algorithm, basically.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Exciting. And I think it's exciting that we're kind of, what I've noticed lately, and I think Alara had said this yesterday, is we're noticing that we're getting more like, okay, meme up, stand up, kind of stuff from Q now, like giving us some direction, but not telling us, exactly what to do or anything like that, but giving the information we need. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're getting more direction from Q now, actually, because I think they hear, and they know that we about it, like more. But Q, stand up? But what do you mean stand up like this?
Stand up, yeah.
And exactly. I think they're hearing the chatter, and they're just like, okay, we need to give the soldiers some guidance. That's what they're looking for. They can't even hear anything verbally from their general, and so all they have is the Q drops. So I don't know. Maybe that's a realization that they reached.
Yeah, and like we were talking last night, the drops have become less cryptic and more obvious.
Yeah,
but they had to be. So Q had to actually gain our trust, at first, because if they would have just came out with all this obvious stuff, it would have just been written off as a shill or whatever. So they had to gain our trust, and look at the amazing job they did, because look at the amount of people that they have standing behind this movement right now. That in itself tells you that there's really something to this for anybody who thinks that Q is a conspiracy theory. And we have to be honest with ourselves and really look at the world and ask yourself, what is going on? Why is all this happening? People aren't just crazy. There is clearly an ulterior motive here, and it's ultimately to rig the election and get Trump out. That's what this is about right now. I don't care what anyone else says.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
You're right, and it's gotten more obvious.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's blatant. It's blatant now. Yeah, mm-hmm. It's so out there that, I mean, they're not hiding anymore. Is what's happening, and and
that
it's
19 wave 2, because we're failing at the other right now. So here comes wave 2.
well, yeah. Did you see that? Now we can't fly into the other places that are slowing down, Arizona or Utah or any of those places. It's just another ploy just to keep us at home and not travel with our mask on, pretty much silence us.
And look
Because
at Chaz. Chop. Whoops.
Yeah. Whatever it's called.
Whatever it's called today with its warlord. Hey, I saw a tweet that somebody cut the power. I made a tweet about that. Hey, why don't y'all what about the power and the water? I was thinking, who's paying the power bill? I made a tweet about that. And the next day I saw another tweet. I haven't been able to verify it and back it up with other stuff. But somebody said something about they cut the water and the power over there.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah, it's not going to last. It's not going to last too much longer.
It's about to get real interesting over there.
Well, that whole operation, and I call it an operation, is because that's exactly what it is. The deep state, whoever is behind this, gave them that block, gave them that land, gave them that land. Most of the members are paid to be there. Other ones, unfortunately, probably took the bait, and they're thinking that they're fighting for some type of cause. And other people may just be crazy drug addicts. I have no idea. But allegedly, that block that they were given was where Obama once lived with, I think, some family members years ago. I don't know the details on that, but something about
his
that
family.
Yeah, something about that specific area. There's more to it than I think. It's become a joke now, but I think the reason behind it might be a little more serious than we understand.
Well, I seen it was family. I could have sworn it was his mother. I'm not positive on that though, but it's family.
Did you see the tweet about the guys in the parking lot with the warlord and talking about how he needed to go get with the mayor, get with the head, quote unquote?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. Now, what's that mean? Let's talk knowingly.
In
cahoots with them.
In cahoots.
Knowingly. They're definitely all tied together. I mean, what got me though is the mayor there. She came out like she was all mad about it. Well, you're the one that let that happen. You're the one that let that person be all that fighting and gun shooting. She's the one that should be responsible for that in the first place. That should have been shut down the next day after they started that first little riot they had going on, and dropping their tents and doing their gardens and stuff like that.
What about the poor people that live there?
Right. Well, the people that live there were told to stay in their houses and don't come out.
That sounds like a hostage situation to me.
Right. I would have. Oh well, yeah. Is
there a law against that?
Yeah, there should be. There should be. You've lived up in Seattle. I've been there too. It is liberal, and so here's the thing though. They just found out what it's like to not be in control, and what it's like to have something that is a organization drop in your city and take over and tell you to stay in your house or you're going to be, attacked or whatever. It just showed all those people, this is what's going on. How do you feel about that? It's kind of like a wake-up call if you lived in Seattle around that area.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call, definitely. And it also, there's multiple reasons behind it. They also want us doing exactly what we're doing. The he says, she says, all that stuff. Like, people are pointing fingers, trying to blame each other. They want us to choose a side. It's all about dividing us also. At the same time, it's having the effect that you're talking about. It is waking people up. It is
definitely. And they just found out that their mayor is not going to do nothing for them, and she's a Democratic mayor. So what's that say? If your mayor is not going to step up and clean up this area, then obviously you need a new mayor in there, somebody that's going to do the job and get it done. Or obviously she can't handle it. Huh?
I mean, there's people getting shot in there.
And now he's suing the police department. There's a video that just came out, probably
the guy that got shot?
Yeah, he is suing the police department. Uh-huh. Is that just not? That's just.
Yeah.
But there was no police department, so how do you do that?
Well, that's all part of the show.
Getting better. It's the gift that keeps on giving. This whole clown show.
Right, it is. It is like watching. It's like watching It is watching a movie with a really bad written script.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, but
Right.
but if what we know to be the ending, if that is true, then it will be the best ending of any movie ever.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't wait for the fake alien invasion. That's what I'm really.
That's why.
Yeah, I'm.
It's coming.
Hey, if we're gonna be distracted by all this insanity, why not spaceships and robotic ETs running around?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you're talking about that. Did you see where it was Prince Henry? Was it Henry, or what?
Yeah.
What's the younger one? What
Somebody
looked like
said
she was a robot?
Yeah, I saw that. I
fake.
was on that train too, and then somebody told me that was Madame Tussauds, like some kind of Madame Tussauds setup or something. I don't know.
I bet.
What?
I was wondering if you seen it. It was pretty funny. I was like, I ain't jumping on that train.
Did you guys see that?
Did you see
No,
it?
I have no
I
idea
gotta
what you're
start
talking
tagging you
about.
guys so you see this stuff. Yeah,
Crazy. It did. She looked like a robot. She turned her head and then kind of, how robots move.
I did see that actually.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah,
that,
her
Aaron?
face was like it didn't move. Yeah,
Didn't move.
It's really creepy.
Like
Oh,
clear
no,
throat.
okay.
see that?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm gonna blow the whistle on the whole thing. So what that was, I've already looked into this when this circulated the first time. What it was some type of wax mask show. And if you watch it in context, everyone in the crowd is wearing a mask like that. It's some
Really?
type of event. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and it's freaky, yes, but it is not what everyone thinks it is. It was definitely some type of an event where everyone was wearing a wax mask. I don't know why, but it definitely wasn't.
Some show.
Yeah, chances are if Megan's not Megan, she's a clone. I don't think they'd make her into a robot. She'd be just a clone. And I don't even think she'd know she's a clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
It's true.
It is true. So true.
So let's pretend somebody's just tuning in for the first time right now, and they have no idea what's going on. As far as this whole election thing and this mail-in voting, like we need to explain to people why this is so crucial that we can't let this happen. Because I've been having conversations with people at work and friends and family, and people are siding with mail-in voting. They don't understand what they're agreeing to. So I want to kind of touch on that and explain why we can't have that.
Well, so a friend of ours, it's a whistleblower. He's known on Twitter as John Here to Help. So he's a friend of his who worked with the satellite thing. I can't tell you the specifics of what both of them did, but there's an article released on here. She was murdered in Baltimore, and what she had, well, we know Seth Rich had stumbled on election fraud, but I'm trying to remember the article off the top of my head, but she had stumbled on a similar sort of thing with the election fraud using the satellites, like something how it would go up and it would come back and it wouldn't be the correct information or something like that. Well,
the numbers were changing.
The numbers were changing. Something to that effect. Anyway, she was murdered over this, and she
stumbled on she stumbled on it being attacked by another country, right?
I can't remember the specifics right now. I don't want to. I don't want to
say that either. Yeah.
But I know that that if you kind of look down those two paths, and then so Q has also made a drop about when you can no longer cheat electronically, through the satellite thing. I don't know how that works, but when you can no longer do that, what's your next option? Okay, your next option would be mail-in voting. So now that whole deal with them has been obvious. And that's probably likely why, I mean, I'm speculating here, but why Hillary didn't win in 2016 is they stopped that fraud somehow. The alliance got control.
That is absolutely why she didn't win. That's why they were so confident she was going to win, because they thought
they had those satellites.
Oh yeah,
yes.
And so now it's mail-in voting. So how do you get everybody to do mail-in voting? Well, that 19.
Yep.
That 19 and stay in your house, and you can't go outside.
So now you got to mail in your vote.
And race riots, and now you got to mail in your vote, and they can easily cheat on those. So it's the backup.
It's just a backup that they've done, but we haven't lost that fight though. Here's the deal, guys. We haven't lost that fight. I mean, we have to say, we got to get in there with Trump and find out exactly what he's going to do about that. But he's going to run out of time. These ballots I just received mine last week. So, the problem with that is people that aren't alive are getting them. People that don't belong here are getting them. And so they're harvesting, filling them out, and they're dropping them off. Well, and then there's some states that don't even have Trump on the ballot in some precincts in California, from what I heard. He's not even on the ballot.
They should just make mail-in ballots like void, just like they don't count.
I think that I'm really this really concerns me because
look what they've done with our rallies.
Huh?
Look what they've done with our rallies. We tried to have our rallies back, and look what they did. They sent in sick people. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
They made the the hiring of the people that go in there sick.
Yeah, they put that out there.
Get everybody sick, and then on top of that, they're getting all the tickets, and then and how do I word that? They're getting all the tickets ahead of time and blocking the seats. Yeah, reserving the seats, and they're pulling
Is that what happened in Tulsa?
Well,
yes.
Okay.
So
some of what happened. Some of
what happened. They couldn't get. A lot of people couldn't get in because the agitators were at the gate where they were supposed to go in, and instead of leaving the gate open and putting the other people inside at risk, they held them back. So what they did is they also held the Trump supporters back, and they also held Trump from being outside talking, because he was supposed to be outside and then go inside. And so it stopped all that because they didn't want Trump out there. So
and then the media runs with look how empty it is.
There's 1,200 people there.
Yeah. They don't even want to talk about the Trump rally unless somehow they manage to make it empty or not.
Or there was a massive spike in cases, virus cases afterwards, which doesn't even make sense. The amount of time that they released that article, there's no way.
24 hours. Apparently, they know there's.
Yeah.
And Space Force.
That day they were on Fox News, and I counted 5 times that Fox News, mind you, ran the Tulsa's spiking all day long. Tulsa has spiked, and it's spiking. It keeps spiking up, and it's so. I wish I would have taped that, because that would have been one of the best memes ever, or videos. Like 2-minute video. And I sat there and I thought, oh my God, how many more times can you say this? So it's all planned. All these media outlets are just, even Fox has gotten bad.
Yep.
Well, apparently the news right now is saying like it's spiking all over the country right now, but apparently they're just increasing the testing. Is all that it is, and the fraud too.
or it's just a blatant lie, which
I'm on that train.
I think it is. I mean, look.
It is.
Use your eyeballs. Look around. Are people?
It's also just.
Are people falling over? Are people sick around you? What is going on?
No.
Or people are wearing masks because of their own ignorance, not because there's a virus. It's not even a problem anymore. It's just like the backstory right now, because that's all they have left to fall back.
Somebody said, he's like, dude, we all would have had it by now. Like, we all have it if it's.
Well, they were Well, that's why right now they're stopping the flights. If we can't fly, they're stopping the flights from Arizona into Utah. Texas can't fly out to Utah, Texas, Arizona, Utah, Texas, and some other state. We're not allowed to fly into. They're trying to stop us from flying into the other ones that have slowed down, and the ones that have decreased in numbers. We're not going to be allowed to fly, I guess. Not unless, I don't know, the last thing that they were going to do was test you or just not let you fly.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well,
no, you're not.
Here's what's taking place right now. They meaning the cabal, the deep state, whatever, censor us, I don't care. They have been, they're defeated, and they are going down, taking everyone with them. They know, they know they don't have a fighting chance anymore, but they can make things as miserable as possible for as many people as possible and ruin anything they can at all cost, before this election, before they have totally just been wiped out. And that's what we're seeing taking place. They're just lashing out.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Tyler, they said, the Pentagon said that there was 6 people in Space Force. I think it's 6 people in Space Force that had gotten the 19. And General Raymond came out and said, no, incorrect. Nobody has it. I just put an article out about this today.
That, and the whole Space Force thing too, Netflix, which is owned by the Obamas and whoever else is created that number one. It's trending on Netflix. They're turning it into a comedy. I want everyone at home to do this. Google Space Force. The entire first page brings up nothing about the branch of the military. It's all about the Netflix series and related articles.
Oh, wow.
That's
crazy.
And people need to understand the importance of the Space Force, because there's a disconnect there. But to understand why we need a Space Force, you have to understand that there are secret space programs existing, which are essentially our rulers who have they're all the companies who have world dominance over the financial system, and they are just fueling the system, the machine that runs the world. So.
Absolutely.
They're taking all of our
the Air Force secret space program on its way to D class. That's what's going on.
They're taking
They've just
taken all of our money, all of our scientific discoveries, and funneled it off planet into deep underground bases, undersea bases, and this creates an imbalance on the planet. And then now we're left to fend for ourselves, essentially, by busting our asses every day as hardworking citizens, while they have their hand in our back pocket the entire time, fueling and funneling this money into these black budget programs.
Oh, it's horrible.
The lie is so sick and it's so wrong. They try to convince people there's no God in school. They try to convince you there's no God. They try to convince you particle physics is it. There's nothing. And everything that they teach us is just couldn't be more opposite of the way things really
it's
work.
180 degrees reverse.
Yeah, and the only people that have this knowledge are not even high government officials. It's the SSP. Yeah. And their counterparts that have the elites. They're the only ones that have this knowledge and this technology and know about the stargates and got the ships and know about the 0-point energy and the whole, and the few people that catch on to it and try to change the world, they get killed.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
We haven't had a chance until Trump got elected.
Yeah,
well, we're so suppressed. That's why we need digital soldiers and space junkies and all that kind of stuff to bring it all together, and to bring it all together to try to dig and find as much truth as we can, because if we don't, then who's going to? It'll just keep getting, removed. They'll remove religion. It's just going to be a domino effect. And if Trump doesn't win, we might as well just drink the Kool-Aid.
No. Well, our job is to constantly expose them and constantly call them out, and that's it.
Yes, exactly. And go, do meme wars and, all that kind of stuff. And that's just like Q said, meme preps, music prep, organize, unite, and prepare, so they're trying to prepare us and move us forward to what's coming next is how I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, did you wear that shirt for me?
Yeah.
That's
Thank
actually
Just for
that's
you.
actually the Journey to Truth one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
You can
Love that.
tell. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it
Thank
says
you.
it's the Space Force logo, but it says Journey to Truth.
I
That's like
know.
the
No,
coolest
no,
thing
no.
ever.
That's the one we were looking at yesterday. I can see, girl.
Love that.
It's so cool.
But so the whole but going back to the Space Force, so now the Space Force is created. We talked about the secret space programs, but now it's it's doing two things. It is giving us an excuse to roll out and declassify technology that has been suppressed for decades, which is huge. But even more importantly, is to shine a light and expose these black budget secret space programs that have been operating unlawfully and secretly stealing our money, benefiting off us, taking our money. And every component for every aircraft and every space shuttle and everything that ever, down to the nuts and bolts and washers, it all gets meticulously tracked and documented. And this was being documented by the deep state. They had control of this whole operation. So every bolt they could charge, this $10,000 for a washer, $8,000 for a nut or a bolt,
Ridiculous.
$40,000 for the toilet seat or whatever it is. Now, from my understanding, they can't do that anymore. We have taken control of that because of the Space Force. So we're going to start exposing all this stuff. We need to know where our money's going because they've been developing off-planet colonies and space stations and who knows whatever else. And we're down here just working our asses off, getting nothing in return.
It's
Right.
insanity, really. And we're still flying airplanes around, and it's almost like it's really laughable, actually. It's sad. It's like that movie Elysium.
Oh, the movie's awesome.
It's like that movie Elysium.
Yeah.
We're down here living in the hood,
Yeah.
and these fools are flying spaceships and living in some awesome pad,
And
out in the
most importantly, having a healing technology that
right.
would cure everybody, and that is
That's going to be one of the big ones.
That movie's pretty accurate, truthfully. That movie's pretty accurate.
When the medical stuff gets
really
disclosed, that's going to be one of the biggest things that's going to piss people off.
Tell them about the hydroxy. Can we say that word on here? Are we allowed to?
Hydroxychloroquine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, that word. Tell them about what I was so mad when she told me about this. So you had a conversation with the doctor about that 19, and if you were to have it or somebody were to have it, what your options would be. Tell them what you said to me.
Okay, so as I told you guys before, I'm sick, and I ended up in the hospital the other day, and the first thing that I had already had been tested with my lungs and all that, and so I have pneumonia, but it was just getting worse. So anyway, so I went in and I tested for 19, and so the doctor came back in and stuff like that, and I was talking to him, and I'm like, oh, so if I was to have it, what would what about HQR? It's HQC, I think, hydroxychloroquine. And if I could take that, what are my options? I said to him, what can I take? And he goes, well, what about hydroxychloroquine? And he's like, nope. Trump has pushed the data on that, and we don't offer it here. All the data is wrong, and that is no longer available. The FDA put a stop to it.
Of course.
Wow.
And I'm like,
because it works. That's why.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, what would you give me? And he said that it starts with what was it, Brahma? I can't pronounce it. But the other one that they had put out that said it was the one that we should all be taking.
Mm-hmm, I saw that.
You know what I'm talking about? And so, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to take that, I want to take the other one, and he goes, it's absolutely not available, and I'm not going to do it. I'm all, for one thing, why are you bringing Trump up? And I'm all, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm all, nah. Yeah, I'm all, you can't tell. I said, look, I know it's available, and so don't do that with me. I said, that's bull that I can't take that.
You told him? Good. You told him that? Good for you.
Yes. And I'm like, and I said to him, I'm like, what's what's Trump have to do with that? I couldn't understand
Because
what his
Orange
deal
Man
was
bad.
with Trump. Huh?
Because anything
Yeah.
Trump promotes,
Orange Man bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Because Orange Man bad.
But here's the deal: how unprofessional
Yeah,
to say
ridiculous.
he doesn't know what he's talking about. The data's all wrong on that. I'm like, are you serious?
The dad is not wrong on that.
Yeah.
And I'm all,
There's
but
been-
what's going on? I said, but what happened over in Spain?
Thousands of people have already been cured of COVID from
And
that
yeah.
already.
Oh my God.
proven.
More
The data's
polite
out
than
there.
I am. I would have just been like, turn off the news, buddy.
If I wasn't so sick, I would have really got down his throat. I was actually pretty nice about it, but I was thinking about that. And then today I received a text from Payne's, and he was telling me that it had cured, it did something for somebody, something to do with someone that had brain cancer. It said the HQC cured a type of brain cancer. He was questioning that. So there's information that's being put around that it's curing some form of brain cancer.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
was going to say they've hinted at it being a cure for multiple things by now.
Well,
Malaria?
it's been used for malaria for decades.
The military,
Decades already.
the military
Zika?
uses it. Yeah.
That's what I was
military
gonna
uses it, yeah.
It's been used for a lot of things by a lot of different people for a very, very long time. It's just kind of hidden. People don't really know about it. It's not mainstream.
It's all
But
about.
here's the deal. If you guys have to get tested, the test doesn't hurt like everybody says it does. I tested. I got my results today, and I'm negative. And
I don't trust the test, though.
I
I'm
don't
scared
either.
of the test, to be honest with
But
you. I'm scared.
you know
I'm not
what?
scared of it, but I'm just.
I made her bring it to me and show me. I made her bring it over.
Good.
Someone handed it to her in a full-blown chemical outfit.
Biohazard suit, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
hospitals have literally been marking people as testing positive when in the system it has them as testing negative. And,
Yeah.
and they'll have them like
So
did you see the video, the nurse that had like a hidden camera?
I was just gonna say that. I think they're
showed
going
the
as far
screen.
actually killing people.
Yeah, they're actually killing
They're
people.
padding numbers. They're killing people. They're doing all of it. Now, who's actually at the
They're
top
doing
of
all
that,
of it.
making those calls, making those decisions? I can't tell you, but
So,
there's
wait a
something
minute. What
really
are
bad
they
going
doing?
on here.
It starts
Huh?
with Soros.
They're telling you're negative, but you're positive? Is that what you said?
No, even if you're
Negative, they're telling you you're positive.
They tell you you're negative, but
Mhm.
they'll mark it down as positive.
Oh.
To pad the number,
Shoot.
Yeah.
or even
Or they'll tell you tested positive when you tested negative.
you didn't, right?
And you
Yeah.
didn't. Like,
Well,
or
I made her
or
come
the
in.
tests will be fraud. Like some of the tests have even been proven to be fraudulent.
Yeah.
Well, the early
And
on
giving false
tests,
positives.
the early tests that were sent over from China were actually a setup. They had the virus in the test. So when you would swab, it would give you the virus.
Oh
Hey.
gosh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
already been
Right?
proven and talked about. That's
Why I made her come in. She had someone in a suit handed it to her out the door. She had it on and she was in a full suit. And then I said, do not open that over there. I want you to open that by me. And she just kind of looked at me kind of funny, but she was really cool. And she came over and I said, can I see the package? And it was, it's about, I'd say it's probably about 8 inches long in a package. And it was in a totally sealed package because she flipped it over. And then when she took it out, I wanted to see inside the package. She probably thought it was crazy, but I looked inside the package too and looked at all of it, but it didn't have any mark on where it was made. That's actually what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I said, do you know where this made? And she said, no, I don't. And I'm like, oh, okay. But she gave me the test and it does go pretty far up your nose and back to your throat, but it's not as bad as everybody claims it to be. It wasn't that bad. But the fact that the test and what they were doing when this all first came out scares the bejesus out of me,
Yeah.
because I don't know if they gave it to me or not. You don't. That's the scary part of all this.
Seriously. Well, that's what when you know that how, look, none of us know how deep the conspiracy actually goes.
No.
But we know it goes deep enough where it makes you have reservations about everything. You're just kind of like you're just sold on a surface level. You're like, I don't know. When you realize like how deep the conspiracy really goes on this planet, like it changes the way you look at just about everything. You can't help it because you don't know.
Well, it's all about them pushing their communist agenda, which it started off as socialism, and now it's just communism at this point. And
which is just a means to take over the world.
And whenever you try and explain that to somebody, they laugh at you. But it's so hard to get somebody to stop and think and look logically at what's actually taking place. Because if they did, everybody would come to the same conclusion because the truth always prevails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some people, their egos just will not allow them because look, I know I went through this. I don't know about you guys, but my ego got completely shattered when I woke up because I really was into like particle physics and all this stuff. Like I really thought like, when I really truly on a deep level realized that everything I had really ever believed, including there not being God, was just total BS that was like sold to me. I totally lost my train of thought.
Your ego was
my ego just when I realized the depth of the lie here and that I had been sold and I had believed it. You have to detach from your ego. If you still like a part of you still holding on to your ego will fight. It'll be like, no, you're crazy, or they're lying to you, or it'll tell you something to try to protect you because that jump is so hard for some people to make. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to think they've been duped in such a major way like that. It's too hard for their mind. They just can't. They're not ready.
Well, it's because of the indoctrination of our education system. And like Jordan Sather made a great post today. He's like, the process of science, science as a process is a good thing because that's how we break things down and evaluate things and figure it out. But when you start attaching science as a label, and to skewed test results or whatever it might be, it becomes just this blanket.
It's not science.
Yeah, it becomes a blanket, but it's become a term that the people have put their trust in.
Yeah, it's a religion now.
Yeah.
Mainstream
it's
science.
Religion.
Mainstream science is a dogmatic religion that they call science.
So now whenever you read a scientific study, the fact that it's called a scientific study makes somebody automatically believe it and not question it.
And then they have the experts that can't be questioned.
Not ever considering that those results could have been skewed or whatever was done are just totally false.
Well, it's just like subliminal messaging. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
They drop subliminal messaging and ads. I mean, I'm not kidding. Probably every commercial you're seeing right now has a subliminal messaging in it, which it's something that they've been doing for years. And so it's not surprising me that scientific would be one of those trigger words where you automatically think that, it's been approved, it's been proved in some Wuhan.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't measure metaphysical stuff with science, you know what I mean? With mainstream science. And so, you're discounting a whole lot of stuff if you're just depending on science to reach all your conclusions about the universe and the way things work.
The thing is that you can actually, a good scientist who is on the right path.
You actually can.
Yeah, using integrity and
for a lot of it.
Yeah, you can actually measure some of this unseen stuff. Now, we're discovering this every day.
Well, you're right, but they're indoctrinated away from using those thinking processes and tools that you would use.
It's indoctrination,
exactly. And their study, or they will never get their grant if they don't come up with the results that they are asked to come up with. So we want you to do a study on this, but this is the result. Anything else, you don't get your grant.
It's a control system. Yeah.
It's just like ghosts. There's tons of evidence of ghosts, and there's tons of what you could call science and evidence, right?
Yeah.
But yet, still, some people still don't buy into the fact that there's ghosts when.
Oh, they're crazy if they don't.
Right. So and if there's ghosts, what does that mean? That means that It's not game over when we die. Obviously,
No.
we go somewhere else to another dimension or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Well, now even mainstream science is saying they've proven that there's at least 11 dimensions. They're even saying that. They're even coming out and saying that. So what does that tell you?
And there was that article in a month ago about Antarctica. They discovered a parallel universe where physics work in reverse and time goes backwards or something.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't see the article. Oh, you're gonna send this.
Yeah, you should read it. And they don't go much into detail about it, but they do claim that they've discovered a parallel universe or another dimension right next to ours where physics is backwards and time goes in reverse.
Sweet.
Something along those lines.
That'd be nice. Time reversing.
So we live in space time. That's time space as far as my understanding. It's where, it's the exact like inversion of space time.
I wonder if it's a parallel Earth or it's like he said, like it's outside of. We live in. Is it time space or space time that we live in, Aaron?
Space time is what we live in. Yeah.
I think it's Stein.
The ghosts live outside of that. Obviously, they live outside. Whatever this matrix is that we live in, which is space time, right?
Yeah.
They live outside of that, so they live in like logically time space.
Yeah.
So where space is three-dimensional and time is linear, it's like time is three-dimensional and space is it's something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And at the intersection is where we get our 3D construct of time. And if you want to have paint yourself a picture of time doesn't exist, you can imagine putting a glove on your hand and each finger is a version of you, and each finger of the glove is a different dimension, all living at the same time, just in their own separate bubbles, basically, and all existing at once.
Oh wow!
It's just a good way to kind of imagine it. I don't know if that.
Yeah, your higher self is you in the future. I mean, logically, right. So,
even though your higher self exists outside of time, so
right.
In that sense, it's like it is, but it isn't at the same time because it doesn't live in time.
Think about really, but it's wrapping your mind around that stuff when you thought time was some linear thing your whole life is like hard to imagine. It really is.
You want some wine?
Oh yeah, sure. Tyler's restriction wine here.
Oh yeah.
Drinking on the job.
Getting drunk.
Dang, I wish I'd have brought mine.
No,
Tyler gets drunk on our show now.
It's just water.
That's what he does.
No, I don't know.
Almost 100 episodes.
5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that one.
Can you imagine, how the victor always writes the history books? Can you imagine what our history books would look like if Trump wasn't going to win? And if they did take over, can you imagine the history books compared to what we are going to get to see? Because now every historical event that they would have, had their narrative for is just going to be totally destroyed.
If there would even be history, just look at 1984, where they removed literally all history.
Yep.
So then
look how bad it's getting with Trump in office. Just imagine the thought police and the surveillance and the psyops and the false flags and all of it if the alliance wasn't in control right now.
Honestly, we probably wouldn't be alive right now. If
I don't think so.
Hillary,
they would ID'd us on our DNA and killed us.
That was the plan.
At least 90% of the planet would be.
Or we'd be in FEMA camps.
Yeah.
Well, that was the plan. Remember when they purchased all those burials? And where did they put those?
Yeah,
what was the reason for that? It was because they were going to depopulate us. If you look back and look at our good buddy Bill, it's always been the plan. This has not just started. It's gone back from years and years and years ago. There has been in 1930, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
I felt when we were on that timeline. I felt it shifted.
Yeah. Well, it's been back in those days when all this has been planned, and it's taken it this long to get where it was, and it was going to be at the final stages, from what I understand, when she became in office.
Yeah.
And that's why all those burial things were bought, and it was going to be depopulation. And you could that's blatantly out. You can find that anywhere right now to read.
Could you imagine Hillary as commander in chief?
No.
There would be no imagining it. I don't think we'd be alive.
That's
let that simmer.
We're not gonna imagine that.
I'm not putting that woman in my head.
Yeah,
no way. Not imagining that thing. That's scary. That's inviting the devil.
Yeah.
Well,
not
okay,
a good
maybe
thing.
don't imagine it. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Well,
okay, don't imagine.
You want to shift timelines here? I'd rather not go to that timeline.
No.
Right.
Well, what's interesting that you guys are aware of the Act of 1871 about us. We're not actually operating under the Constitution like we think we are. The whole idea. The whole idea is our Constitution has been suspended since 1871. So what that did was turn it from the United States for America, the United States of America, and then turn us into a corporation.
Yep.
And it took London, the Vatican, and the District of Columbia, which were all city-states. It created a 3-city empire, and the flag in D.C. with the 3 red stars that represents each one. London, the financial hub, Vatican was doing
spiritual, and
all under the guise of spiritual guidance.
Military.
And then Washington D.C. is the military arm. So these three city-states as a 3-city empire has actually what has been operating in the United States. The United States has been operating under this 3-city empire, and that's also what's taking place right now. And to be able to roll out stuff like Nasara and all this stuff, it has to be done constitutionally. It has to be done right. Well, guess what? We're not even operating under our true Constitution right now. So behind the scenes right now, they are turning us back into a country. We're no longer a corporation. That's the whole goal, is to turn us back into a country, back under the Constitution that was penned by the Founding Fathers, that we all know, the rights that we deserve, the freedom that we think we had, and their entire goal, their biggest mission the entire time was to do things in such a way to make the people think that we were operating under that Constitution. They couldn't go too far off script because it couldn't be obvious.
Yes.
So, and then this allows them to get away with the crimes and all the stuff. Every time somebody says, how can they do that? That is unconstitutional. It's because, our Constitution has been suspended since 1871.
Not that they would care anyway if they got control without doing that, but that's absolutely
and
true.
You can't implement that stuff unless we are under our Constitution again. Constitution for the United States. So if you want to start doing things legally, like Hugh talks about and all that stuff, we have to get ourselves back.
We do, but we are doing that, don't we? I read somewhere that we have control of the banking system right now over there.
Yes.
And
look at what's happening.
We're starting to get control. We're starting to take away a lot, like the Federal Reserve there, and also something to do with the Vatican.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. We're moving on it slowly, very quietly. But from what I remember is we do have control of the big bank over there right now. That we have control of it.
Yes.
The Queen moved out of the palace, friends.
She moved out of the palace.
What does that tell you?
For the people who've been getting impatient with Q and the Alliance, there is so much going on behind the scenes that we just can't know about right
Absolutely.
now. So much has taken place that's going to drastically change life on this planet forever. You just have to give it time. They can't sit there and tell us every move and tell us everything. That's not how war works, because we are at war right now.
Right. We're doing but to me, the way I look at it, it's a silent war that Trump is instead of going into war, battle guns and stuff like that, he's doing it silently so it doesn't uprise all the crazies.
Also, Because
He's playing chess.
that's another huge aspect that people don't always realize is that you can't come out with. There's so much that would piss off
Yes,
everyone
exactly.
to such a degree and shock everyone to such a degree that it would be mass chaos and people wouldn't be able. That's like Q said, like the truth would, like what did he say?
Put most people in the
But most people in the
hospital.
hospital, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And it would.
it's starting.
Like,
Definitely.
honestly,
It's starting to make sense to me why we couldn't have that full disclosure that we just all dreamed about when we first learned about all this stuff, like rip the Band-Aid off type of disclosure. It's becoming very, very apparent why that can't happen. And we had to witness it ourselves to understand it. And now it's
look
really
at the journey that we've been on. Think back to 2017. Look at the journey that Q has taken us on. So can you imagine just all of that be thrown at us at once? We would be like, nah, this can't be. There's no way. And that's
like I said, cognitive
you'd be like, exactly. And so that's why look here, go back, go forward, go back, and go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. You're on a journey, and if you've been on the journey since 17, then you see the progress, and you see the story that's being unfolded in front of our eyes, like you said, like a movie.
It is the global cha-cha slide.
Global what?
The global cha-cha slide.
Yes.
Right?
Slide to the left, slide to the right.
Yeah.
Five hops this time. Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
But look how much, if you've been following since then, look how much you've learned. Look how much you personally have seen and witnessed in the last 3 years. It's just you can't wrap your mind around it. If you just jumped into it right now, you wouldn't understand it, and then you would be like, it's a conspiracy theory, So it is mind blowing.
It takes years.
It does.
The transformation that happens to a person when they begin to accept it and research takes years.
The great thing though is that and that people are waking up because they're exposing themselves, and that's what the brilliant thing that Trump is doing and the alliance is doing is they're doing things that force them to expose themselves because they have to do all these ridiculous things.
He's not
a lot of people up.
He's not even doing things to force them to expose themselves. He's just letting them play their own game.
He's like, in a sense, he's like setting traps.
Yeah.
And then they had no choice but to go right into it because that's what they have to do.
Well, he's that's a master chess player.
Yeah, exactly.
I almost feel bad for them now because like when they go to do their false flags, like the anons have it.
We all laugh.
Have it torn apart so fast.
You know what?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, we have it totally torn apart, and we're all getting it out there on social media within like 24 hours. They just can't get away with nothing now.
Yeah, or somebody would be like, I had a dream about this. People are getting dreams about this shit.
Yes,
premonitions about this stuff happening. It's beginning into our collective consciousness. So everything, whenever a plan is being conjured up somewhere, somebody is already on it subconsciously. They don't even know it.
Mm-hmm. They had to ramp up the internet censorship so much because of that reason, because
they can't control us.
So many people were exposing stuff immediately, like you said, and stuff was going viral.
Yep.
And it was waking up so many people. They're like, we can't afford to be subtle with the censorship anymore. We have to, and that's why it's just been so insane. Because they're like
crazy what they do to us on Twitter. I've seen Facebook. They fact check everything now. I've just given. I shouldn't give up.
And it's, a lot of it's psychological too, like the Facebook fact checking. They're like, well, if we can make it look like we're fact checking things, and people can just be like, oh, look, that's debunked. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge thing. And that's the reason for like the articles they write, like, oh, QAnon's debunked. I saw an article.
Right.
And then the people,
like,
the sleepers.
Yeah, they're having a problem doing that with memes, though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they're having it. I mean, not unless they go what you put on a meme, but man, I mean, there's so many memes out there now because Laura and I can communicate with memes, or you know,
Me,
Somebody,
me,
Yeah.
memes are
Memes
memes.
are huge.
yeah. So
Memes are yeah.
they're having a hard.
memes,
They're
I have
having a
a
hard
love
time.
affair with memes.
somebody needs to make a meme about Jim Acosta. I can't stand that. That if anybody triggers me, it's him.
Oh yeah.
When he's at those press conferences asking those stupid ass questions, pardon my language. I mean, he's asking like third grade level questions.
Third grade. Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are totally irrelevant to anything on the planet right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how do you know? No, but he said that. I'm like, shut up, God. And then, she knows.
Yeah, like what was the one?
She knows that this is all, it's all scripted. So what she has to do is play into it. They want Trump, now his big thing is, Trump called the virus the Kung Flu virus. And he keeps asking, all of a sudden it's a big racist thing. But she answers it. But by her answering it, she is feeding that narrative in a good way, because now people are so focused on that the real stuff that needs to take place can be done covertly and, without really too many eyes on it. So they're not, threatened for being exposed.
I saw an article today. I didn't get a chance to read it, but about something about them changing the water supply and taking the fluoride out.
Oh, I read that too. Hello.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
A neogland activation on the whole population. Woo!
Woo! Right?
Flying.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Can you
I hope they
imagine?
do it.
Well, the thing is, there's a fluoride in so many other foods, though, also. And, but it would help tremendously if that did happen.
The chemtrails can stop, and that, and
Just that alone. Can you imagine no chemtrails and no fluoride in the water?
Oh yeah.
People would be able to
Hey, we're not being
hear
poisoned.
their friends. They'd be able to hear their friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so crazy.
Well, the chemtrails are definitely way down. At
Way
least.
down.
Way down.
I have, I live out here by the base, and they come off that base. Well, not off that base, but they come off farther. But the skies haven't been like that lately.
Yeah.
I usually wake up and the sky's all blue, and then it's all crisscross.
Where do you live?
I'm in Arizona.
Oh, you're in Arizona too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. Nice and hot today, 108.
Yeah.
Wow.
I miss the sky in Hawaii. They're all normal clouds, like pretty fluffy, normal looking. Most people, I think, on this planet, they don't even, that are younger at least, don't even know what a real sky looks like, you guys.
Well, they don't have.
Horrible.
They've never seen one.
They don't have a reference.
Yes, that's what I mean.
A reference point. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know what a real sky looks like. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Our skies are not real. They're just chemtrails.
The skies are not real. The Earth is flat.
There's no stars.
Yeah.
I was become a flat earther.
No, never.
Flat earther.
Never.
Hey,
The Earth is flat, you guys. It's been proven by YouTube.
hey, my mind's gone there. I'm not gonna lie. My mind's had these trips where
I looked into it. I give everything a shot.
Years ago, I did.
Not even just that, just the aspect of what if all the people that have ever been whistleblowers on the secret space program are under some sort of mind control, and like my mind has gone there, like, and really the Earth is flat, and but then I had to follow it through, and I was like, I can't make it work in my head no matter how hard I try.
Yeah, there's way too much that's out there that you would have to say is fake.
Well,
or be like, okay, all that's got to be BS for this one thing to be true. That doesn't even, it's like irrelevant to anything like the shape of the planet. Here's
the simplest way to put it, and even a flat earther won't believe me because they have fallen for this already. But if we were taught about how our universe really works, and we truly understood physics, and we truly understood, the electrical universe and science for what science actually is, if we understood the way it all operated actually, it wouldn't even be questionable.
It would be
Because
obvious.
It would be so obvious, but so much of the information has been skewed and tampered with, and parts of physics equations have been removed specifically to lead people into dead ends. And that's why people are out there coming up with this conclusion, because we have false data to work with.
Right, because they know they're being lied to, and they just why would you be right? I get exactly what you're saying. Right, that's where the thought has to be followed. Follow up is you got to look into, the stuff with the secret space programs mainly. I mean, when you look into that, it's so extensive. There's so many people and so many experiences, and there's so much there that,
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Like I can even justify some of my own experiences with, okay, maybe interdimensional, maybe some time travel, maybe this, maybe that. But ultimately, like, where are all the spaceships going? Like, if everything's interdimensional and the Earth's flat, like, it just doesn't. Where are they going?
To the universe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where? So they phase into our dimension so they can hide, and then I just don't.
No,
why do we even have spaceships? Why do we even have them if the Earth is flat and there's no?
It wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, exactly.
Or
it doesn't make any sense.
If the Earth is flat, we live in a dome and there's no space.
Or they're all paid and they just take the ship just outside of our visibility and hang out and take a 30-minute lunch break and then come back.
Back.
Yeah. They say like all the shuttles and rockets.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, they go up and then they just
come
down somewhere else. Like, doesn't make any sense. Like,
maybe the firmament is the shield, you guys. Maybe there's a shield, like a lot of whistleblowers talk about that I've heard. There's a shield around stuff. Maybe that's what the firmament is that they're talking about in the Bible. Maybe there is like a shield, an energetic shield.
I believe,
and they knew
it could be energetic for sure. Yeah,
I believe on some level there's an energy field. Yeah, that's
There's the what is it called? I have a brain fart.
I don't know.
The thing that people say
telepathy, Aaron.
Yeah.
The thing
that people say is like, oh, we can't. There's no way we could travel in space because of the one thing. What's it called?
Oh, the Van Allen.
Not the Van Allen.
Van Allen belt.
The Van Allen belt. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, or something. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So.
That is it.
That's it.
I believe. The Van Allen belt.
Van Allen belt.
But that's not, like, they've debunked that too. Like, no, like, that doesn't prevent.
Yeah, that's just another scientific journal that was written based on false data. And theories.
Do you guys know who Planetary Science is? Have you heard of them?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's a group of people that are all Planetary Science. It's all about aliens, Earth, and the skies and everything like that. And I worked with them for about 12 years. Not them personally, but the company I worked for. They used to come hang out at the resort I was at. And I asked them one night. I'm like, they do the whole universe, the Earth, and all that kind of stuff like that. And I asked, there was a bunch of scientists sitting around because they come from all over the world. It's just not here in Arizona. They come from all over the world, and they were hanging out, and I was in the room with them. And so I said, so guys, what do you think about aliens? And they all just kind of looked at me like, what? And I'm all, seriously, and I've known them for years. And I know I'm being serious. And I grabbed a cup of coffee and I sat down with them. I'm all, so tell me what you think. And they all said the same thing. They're out there. They all said that they're out there. And they all said that there are different species of them. And there are different places that they live. And there's some that live here on the planet. And there's some that live here underground. And I got a whole different outlook on aliens and space from those guys. And they've been doing it they're scientists from all over the country, and they've been doing it for years and years and years, and they've studied them. And it was quite an interesting because out past like going towards Mexico, there's a big, huge observatory up there, and they have some awesome footage of stuff that's happened in the skies over where I live, and I was like, oh, I really want to see it, but I couldn't be in the room because it was, they couldn't let me see it because you're not supposed to be in the room. It's closed or whatever. And so anyway, so that whole story about that, I totally believe about, and I don't believe the Earth is flat. I don't believe that at all. No, it's not.
Not on the train. I don't think.
And yeah. So it was interesting. It was a different perspective from what I've heard, that it's always Area 51, and they back in whatever day a spaceship crashed and all that. So they actually have documentation of a lot of incidences that happen across around the world, which was interesting to find out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
really cool.
And that's the thing. People are just going to have this realization more and more and more. It's just going to be common talk.
Mm-hmm.
Until we're to a point where they're actually showing themselves. But we have a war to fight. We have a battle to win, and we have other stuff to do right now before that can take place.
And
I agree 100% with that.
Do we want to talk about the Trump interview the other day with Roswell?
Oh yeah, just him.
Trump Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, just touching on.
And he hinted that there's very interesting things.
Well, he said, "I can't tell you what I know, but it's really interesting."
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, there you go. There you go.
He knows. He knows we know about the aliens. He knows a lot of us are contactees, and he knows, and experiencers. He knows we know about the aliens, and he was just trolling us, dude.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was funny. He's like, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. He has to get reelected first before he's going to come on with any of that. So, and we got to get rid of the state, just like Tyler said.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
but it was great to see Don Jr. bring it up and be like, so, well, this is what I really want to know. Are there aliens?
Yeah. This is what everyone really wants to know.
Everybody really wants to know.
That's great.
That was an awesome question, though.
Right? Stop lying.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know, like, hello.
Give us an answer, Say yes or no. Well, he pretty much gave us an answer on that, I kind of feel.
Did you see Don Jr.? I think it was a tweet. He said that we should start replacing all these statues that are being torn down with statues of Trump and see how they
Yeah.
And he said statues of my dad is what he said.
My dad.
That's a great idea.
I hope they do that. That would be amazing.
Yeah. All right, we'll build a check. Yeah.
They just
back
Trump
in your face, and then put the ultimate security around it so it can never be taken down.
Build a wall around all of them.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious. With like bronze MAGA hats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do some peppy Trumps.
Yeah.
Right? Pistachios of Pepe all over.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Oh, they'll go
crazy.
All the NPCs their heads are going to explode.
Oh, no kidding, huh? Have you ever wonder what Q thinks when Q trolls everybody and like is seeing all these peppies and memes and all that? You ever think about that? Like, because they troll because they're going and picking people to Q,
Yeah.
And it was
Q loves us.
Huh?
Q loves us. We're cute. The Q operations Maverick.
They probably sit up there and laugh like crazy at some of the stuff that we post.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
They're also unique and just so eccentric and so passionate and spirited and passionate. I'm sure the Q op is just like,
oh,
aren't
they our kids?
Our kids.
Look at our kids, our digital soldiers. They're peppying it up.
Look at this new Pepe.
How many times?
We have a collection of them. They come forward, they're going to have a whole book of peppies. Look what we collected.
Like a family photo album.
That's what's going to be disclosure. Is a book of peppies. Yeah.
Book of peppies.
Twitter avatars and Pepe memes.
Oh shoot! Oh, that's funny. That is so funny.
How many times do you think Hugh has also had to do this? And like, no, guys,
Yeah.
we
Oh yeah, when we
totally
get
did.
on the wrong train and we're all on that train and we're just like, woo woo,
Yeah,
and
we
we all yeah.
when we
And he's
all
like, no.
No, stop.
yeah.
That's probably when he
wrong
says.
one.
That's what he says. Look here, not there.
Yeah.
I've seen us do that too. It's so funny.
Oh,
Guys.
shoot.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking, oh, geez, when we start with those digital soldiers, they're on something.
All right.
This was the last train that we got on that was totally wrong. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, the one I just did. Yeah, did you see the one I did yesterday? Oh, Lord, about AOC. You see that? Did you see that that tweet about AOC?
Mm-mm.
Oh God! And then someone said it was it was fake. Okay, that's the second fake one I think that I've put out, and I'm like, then I have to put the disclaimer. Sorry, I cannot find it. And I looked too. There was someone else that tweeted it. That was a big, someone that had that's been in the Q family for a long time, and I'm like, well, gosh, they have to. I just took it for granted.
Yeah.
I got kind of reamed on it.
Well, we've all taken a bait on some level and posted something or shared something that's been false.
Yeah,
If you haven't, I mean, good for you, but it's easy to be tricked, and that's the whole point.
It's embarrassing.
I don't think it's embarrassing because some of the stuff can be very legitimate, or some stuff I think
you just got to make sure you vet everything before you, because it's really easy, especially on the internet. There's so much out there that there's a lot of fake stuff out there that
I think
it's
that's
easy to just share something immediately and
yeah.
oh,
Well, and I looked for something else. I always look for someone else posting it and kind of go through their feed on it and stuff, and everything that I had read on it was okay. It's legit. I seen it legit. And I'm like, okay, well then I'm going to go ahead and.
I try to do that too. Yeah.
You got to watch. You have to watch Facebook though. I've noticed a lot of fake stuff coming from Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but I get sent it.
There's a lot of fake stuff on Facebook.
Yeah,
real stuff. There's a lot of fake.
It does forensics on all the UFO videos. Telling you that's like a major asset to have, because I don't have to. Everybody's like, "Is this CGI? What is this? What is this?" And I'm like, "Hey, come here, friend. Can you check this?" I don't even tweet it first. I'm like, can you check this video out?
Make sure,
yeah.
Go to your space junkies.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna start wrapping this up. Don't want to go too long here. Thank you guys for coming on. This has been awesome. Nice laugh there at the end.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, no, hey, that's good. We all need it. Honestly, that's one good key piece of advice we should leave everyone with is, we can't remember to be so, we have to remember to have fun. We can't be so serious.
Don't take yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
Can't be
fun. Exactly.
Can't be serious all the time. As much as we all know that we're in war and this is a battle and we are the digital soldiers and we feel like it's our duty to be out there. But, whenever you just step away from all that and just step out into the world and just be in nature and go swimming or do whatever it might be, just relax and go laugh with some friends or whatever it is. Just have fun and come back and you'll be amazing at, how much more effective you will be, because we have to step away and create and balance things out.
Totally true.
Yeah.
I wanted to let people know too that we are moving the Pink Patriot Hour off of 1 Foot in 5D onto its own channel. We're already starting to make tweets about it and try to show people where the link is, because there's not content on there right now. All of our past shows are still on 1 Foot in 5D. So it's difficult to find, I guess, until you've got content on there, it's difficult to navigate and find. So we've been putting the link on Twitter. I'm going to try to put it on all the social media as much as I can, and Livin will too, to try to help people find the new channel. And we'll be doing that we're doing our show on Friday instead of Wednesday this week. So the following Wednesday, is going to be Anon Severe and Pains. And starting with that show, we'll be on the Pink Patriot Hour channel and not my channel, which is the 1 foot and 5D. So,
Yes.
which I did subscribe for the new channel already. I think I was like the 8th subscriber or something, whatever.
Yeah,
it
I
was.
seen it come through.
But I will put that link under this video for anybody who's watching this. You can go click the link and subscribe right now if you're listening to this.
Everyone go subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
Do
It's
it.
going to
Yeah.
be a challenge doing that, moving like
Yes.
that, but we have to because of the censorship. We have no choice. We have to do it.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. And to everyone listening, just remember, it might look like things are getting bad out there, but really we just have to shine a light on all this corruption. So, the light has to be shined on this stuff. It has to be.
The darkness is coming to the surface to
Exactly.
be exposed and
And
cleared.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Aaron, for having us on your show.
Yes.
Yes, thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
guys.
you guys.
Hour. We're very grateful.
We are very grateful. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Oh, you
Love
guys
your
are
show.
awesome too.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
this
It's our
was
honor.
this was a lot of fun too. This was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's it, I will plug Camp Disclosure because we have been doing that. Camp Disclosure, August 27th through the 31st, Asheville or Flat Rock.
Close to Asheville, North
Yeah,
Carolina.
Flat Rock, North Carolina. It's going to be an awesome conference. A lot of cool people. James Gilliland is the keynote speaker. We have an Experiencers Lounge. We're going to be hanging out, doing a lot of cool stuff. Just going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to be at ESETI coming up here, July 23rd
3rd through the 26th.
for that conference. So if anyone wants to come hang out, say hey.
Excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And these are both T-shirts we have on our store. We have 6 designs. The link is also in the description below. Grab yourself a T-shirt. We will have some at these conferences coming up, but very limited. Anyway, that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. This has been a lot of fun, and we will see everyone next week. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Is it over? Not to the fist jumps. It's over.